and ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned.
Government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
What do we do now?
Back to them, or do you want to stay with Donald Trump?
Fuck Joe Biden.
To go along with this, and I'd see through all of your lies, Barack Obama, you wicked, wicked devil!
Welcome back to another night of Shtick with Koolfrogg. It is Sunday night, and yeah, we're just going to read some news. I really don't know how long this is going to last or how many people are actually going to join me. I know that I have at least one person that said he was actually going to join me. He should be in shortly and give him some time to actually finish his snack that he's working on. Seriously, I was digging around and I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what to do show on. I have no clue what I want to do. And I opened up news article and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, oh, this is fitting. I've done plenty. I've done a food processing shortage or plant shortage thing or whatever. And when I seen this article, I'm like, yeah, let's just add to the fire, because that's pretty much what's happening. Is just adding to the fire with more fire. Let's see if I can't make that a little bit bigger for you. There you go. So, Minnesota fire at commercial egg farm likely leaves thousands of chickens dead. The sheriff's office estimated that 200,000 chickens died in a barn fire. Yes, this is out of Minnesota. This is yet another barn fire that started in the middle of the took out food supply. 200,000 chickens? That doesn't just take out 200,000 chickens. That also takes out all the eggs that they were laying. That's ridiculous. It's like, well, wait a minute. What the? So this article is a fire at a commercial egg farm in Minnesota on late Saturday night likely left thousands of chickens dead. The fire began on late Saturday night, and fire crews responded to an incident shortly after 10 p.m. at the Forsman Farms facility in Stockholm Township, Minnesota. According to Fox News Minneapolis, according to the report, the fire came from the barn that houses chickens and manure. Deputies said that the main building involved in the fire was significantly damaged, and surrounding buildings received light damage. The Wright County Sheriff's Office estimated that there were likely 200,000 chickens in the barn when the fire broke out, according to the report. That's a lot of chickens. That's a lot of food. Another chicken coop. Another chicken facility. I mean, this is how many facilities need to actually happen before we actually start looking into it like it's actually something more than just an accident. This continues as deputy said that they don't believe the fire result of a criminal activity. Every time, every single farm, every single facility that's ever been that's ever started on fire, not a single one has resulted from in criminal activity. You got to be kidding me right now. How in the world does that happen? Over and over and over again. You can't tell me that they don't know how to actually put in fire alarms or, extinguishers or, whatever it is to help prevent this from happening. Over and over and over. So here's the thought. It says, overnight, the fire destroyed one of our barns at our Howard Lake farm. No one was injured, and we are grateful that the first responders were quickly on the scene to put out the fire. Unfortunately, chickens were lost because of the fire. We are evaluating the extent of the damage, which appears to be confined to a single structure, as well as investigating the cause of the fire, the spokesperson said. Oh, okay, so they're actually going to investigate the cause of the fire, because they've already investigated, according to the deputy, that says, yeah, the fire is not the result of criminal activity. They don't believe it is. If they don't believe that it's part of criminal activity, then what's actually happening? There you go. Welcome, Jimmy YouTube. What's up, man?
My chicken.
Right, exactly. This is chicken from Minnesota. So I mean, this is your backyard, bud. When you think about it,
You bastards. The one good thing I had in this world.
they just keep on taking out more and more chickens. This was 200,000 chickens, and in a manure facility area or whatever. So it's like, okay. I did read the article already. I'm gonna grab this others. Oh, let's not do that. Let's put you next to me.
Hey.
Grab this other screen here real quick. So this other screen is Forestman Farms. This is their farm. This is how big this farm actually is, and it says that one of the facilities was burnt, and then other ones nearby. And it said 200,000 chickens. And look at how these chickens.
Look at those things. You can tell they're cloned.
Cultivating innovation for over 100 years. And then all of a sudden, just so happened to be that no criminal activity is suspected. That this 100-year-old farm decided to, spontaneously combust.
Look, they talk about their chickens, and they're like, our veterinarian staff.
Happy people, happy hens, happy customers. You want a job with us? Go and apply. And that's pretty much what it is. This is their website, and they're actually like, there's a career thing in here. It's amazing. I kind of flipped through it real quick just to see what it was all about. There's employee safety and well-being, hen welfare and comfort. Yeah, I'm sure their 200,000 chickens are very comfortable right now.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine what that sounded like. Oh, see how we partnered with McDonald's to help them fulfill their commitment to source 100% of their eggs from cage-free hens. So they work with McDonald's, a major corporation. Oh.
McDonald's has chicken?
Well, they eggs.
Oh, okay, that makes
The
sense.
cage-free, right? They're looking at their eggs from the cage-free hens. So they make their egg McMuffins in the morning or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So they want 100% of their eggs to be cage-free, because
I
that's.
always figured they used like already pre-whipped eggs, like just the straight yellow, like the thing you can get in the carton,
Yeah, some of them. It's really dependent on which sandwich you actually grab. I remember when I was younger working at a McDonald's, and yeah, there was a mix that you'd use for the scramble, like it would just be in a carton or whatever, just like milk would be.
Yeah.
Right. But there were other forms of sandwiches that you'd have to make, and you'd need ones that you'd actually crack an egg into, like a ring or whatever. Wouldn't go outside the ring, and it would cook perfectly with the after you close your clam of the thing that you're actually cooking off of. You close the top of your thing down on it, and it would actually cook it from both sides, and it would look cool because it'd just be this perfectly cooked white egg with this little yellow yolk in there. And when I said little, I mean, it seemed like they're the smallest yolks ever. But, you know, cage-free, you know, good stuff.
We like that.
Actually,
Farming is definitely in my blood.
oh, they got music in the background. I want to play that. But it's a McDonald's thing. So I'm like, oh, what is this? But you can join their team, and, you know, obviously the huge, massive facility. And you see that first couple pictures or whatever, and you look at their facility, it's like, holy man, these guys, look at how massively huge that farm is. I mean, look at this tradition since 1918.
Holy buckets. They've been at it.
Today, we have millions of hens under our care. We sell over 3 million eggs per day on a farm of shell and liquid egg to some of the nation's largest retailers.
Yeah, like frickin' McDonald's. Everybody knows McDonald's.
Well, right. I mean, we already seen that they were affiliated with McDonald's or whatever, but, you know, so over 3 million eggs a day in form of shell and liquid egg for some of the nation's largest. And it's just like, well, okay, you know, McDonald's is obviously one of the largest that, you know, one of the largest restaurants that people know of.
Yeah.
You know, almost worldwide.
It is pretty much like maybe I'm
Right.
not on that island where they won't let other people go. No McDonald's there for you.
No McDonald's, right? Because obviously, if you're living on an island trying to get away from the rest of the world, you don't want a McDonald's anyway.
I don't know. Them happy little easinesses.
Find a career. Each employee has opportunities to grow and maximize their potential. Our goal is to challenge each employee to maximize their personal abilities and goals and provide fun, clean, and safe work environment until it starts on fire. Be careful.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you?
You know, obviously, you know, they're all about their. This is taking care of our land. For over 100 years, we've lived where we farm. This is a 4th generation family farm, and we aren't just making decisions for the next months or the next year, but the next generation. We do today's what we do today reverberates as well into the future. This is why our farm is certified Minnesota Agricultural Water Quality Farm, and that is why we restore wetlands and continue to farm with the land. So, you know, they're very, you know, progressive with in their ways or whatever. So I mean, they're actually, you know, doing something good. What in the world would make them think that they shouldn't put some kind of fire alarm, smoke detector, sprinkler system, fire extinguisher of sorts nearby to actually stop this from occurring?
Insurance.
Not saying that it would actually, you know, save the chickens, because, you know, obviously if you know, maybe if they got wet they'd be okay, but if you know, if they got hot and then you got wet, there might be a couple things that, you know, if you that you could, you know, potentially play off there or whatever. But it just is so disturbing. And anybody that hasn't been paying attention to Stick with Koolfrogg, if you go back, you know, I don't know, a couple weeks, there's an episode that we produced that was talking about this particular stuff, about food shortages and all the farms in the United States and worldwide that had actually, you know, spontaneously combusted.
Yeah, that's it.
So,
Our country is under attack.
right? So, I mean, if you see the headline on top of the today's show or whatever it is, says Sunday News, so that's pretty much what it is going to be. We're just going to go through, try reading some articles, something that's interesting. Who knows where this, you know, where we'll go, how long we're actually going to be here. I know that I have a little bit of a competition right now with a couple other channels that decided to go live as I was setting myself up to actually go live. So,
Animals.
right?
How dare they make content?
Savage. And of course, they're all talking about Johnny Depp. So it's like, I want to do something else. Let's go talk about something else. Eggs. Minnesota eggs. So then, I pulled that article simply by putting in, news, whatever, and seeing what would come up.
What up, Slade?
Oh, hey, Slade Raider, what up?
We talking about another food facility that went up in smoke.
Right. We were just talking about the Minnesota fire commercial egg farm that left 200,000 chickens dead and a building destroyed. Out of a building that it's a commercial egg farm, so that they actually produce for places like McDonald's and several other corporations.
I want my egg McGriddle.
Yeah, right. Last night we had an open mic and we kind of got into it a little bit. And the majority of the night we actually talked about the Texas school shooting. I really don't feel like going there again. There was a lot of interesting information to go along with it, and a lot of differing thoughts on what actually happened or why it was allowed to happen. The reason I bring it up is because that was the next article in the thing, and I was like, I don't want to do it. I just don't want to. I don't want to rehash that one again.
Yeah, that whole thing is just sketch as fuck, though. That's all I'll say about it.
And the thing is I'm like skimming these articles, and I'm like, I go and read it. And it's like, well, that one says monkeypox. We covered monkeypox the other night. Go watch my last couple episodes or whatever. Hear plenty about monkeypox. Russia, Ukraine. We kind of haven't actually hit on Russia, Ukraine in a while. Are you interested? Do you want to go there?
What are we gonna pull up some Pat Lancaster here?
Well, it was just a news article, so I don't really know what this is actually gonna. It's from The Guardian. It says Russia-Ukraine war, what we know on day 96 of the invasion. So, I mean...
The invasion.
Just the headline alone just makes me kind of start cringing a little bit, because it's like, you can't... It's a Russia-Ukraine war, and supposedly one side invaded the other, and there's so much misinformation to go along with that I could get myself dinged if I don't pay attention. Hey, what's up, Mitchell? What's up, man?
Mr. Embry, how are you, good sir?
What's this? Merrick Garland makes a speech. When did he do this? 6 hours ago. It's... Again, we're just reading the news, so, topics can change. People can join if they know where to find the links, and they can actually change conversation altogether. Who knows?
Click the link.
Click the link. Merrick Garland warns of democracy under threat of Harvard speech. Really? Attorney Merrick Garland warned about threats of democracy in the U.S. and abroad the commencement speech of Harvard University on Sunday. Driving the news, Garland, who's a Harvard alum, pointed to efforts to undermine the right to vote, violence against particular groups of people, the J6 attack in the U.S. Capitol, the Russian invasion of Ukraine, as many ways in which democracy is under threat. Well, good thing we live in a constitutional, a federal constitution or whatever. I can't even think right now. A constitutional republic. My brain's just not with me.
I believe in you.
So a couple bullet points. This is Garland also urged the students members in the 2020-2021 graduating classes to devote some part of their lives to public service. Well, I mean, devoting your life to public service is kind of different than actually going and paying attention to your local government and what's actually happening in your own city, your own county, your own state. Going after this guy really isn't going to do you any good. You're not gonna be attorney general anytime soon unless you're previously some kind of lawyer and you went to school for a certain, like he said though, you should actually get into public service because
That's how we fix this country.
Right, you can't right, exactly. You can't fix this country without actually doing so. The second bullet point says, is it a quote that's on there? There's one particular reason that makes my call for public service especially urgent for your generation. It is an urgency that should move each of you, regardless of the career you chose. It is urgent need to defend democracy. Oh, Merrick Garland.
What a peach.
What he's saying, according to Axios, you are the next generation that most devote yourselves to preserving the democracy and helping others protect theirs. And although what I am asking you is daunting, I know that you are the next generation that will fulfill the promise of the country represents. I know that our democracy will be stronger by the time it is your turn to pass the baton. Only if we stop listening to the Democratic left. They're very insistent at fixing problems that aren't on. They won't fix our messes. Never.
Oh, I hear some food a dinging. I will excuse myself and then I'll hop back in. All right.
All right, sounds good. So, I mean, Merrick Garland threatening the U.S. that the democracy, that our quote-unquote democracy is in threat really kind of, it just irks me or whatever, because, you need to stop with the crap. I mean, it's your democracy that's actually ruining us, the most legitimate president ever, just so happens to be. Come on. Let's close that. Let's see here. My graphics changed. Why did they change? Yeah. CNN's Acosta tells NRA to look into its souls to protect kids. Well, when it comes down to it, I think if there was more people and I actually had more time, I was thinking I was going to actually do an NRA thing because today was the last day of the convention, of the 3-day convention or whatever for NRA down in Texas. And, it just so happened to happen just after this mass shooting that was down there in elementary school where a teacher left a door open or something or other, and a guy got in and to a couple unlocked doors and annihilated a classroom. It just so happened to happen a couple days before this. No coincidence at all whatsoever. Not to mention all the problems we cause around the world with the government's constant interference, which hasn't worked well, like Iran, Afghanistan, Iraq, and yeah, exactly. I mean, the U.S., otherwise also known as, you can also include NATO at the same time. just doesn't know how to stay out of everybody else's civil wars or wars alone, to leave us alone. NATO should just not be in existence at all. That's my thought. We shouldn't be sitting there trying to protect another country from anybody else. It's not our place to be the police. But, we're going to continue to pretend that we are the police, and we're going to continue to actually move troops in and around areas, whatever, that we're calling not ours, to fight these, proxy wars that have been going on forever. So let me see. This is Zach Schoenfeld actually wrote this today for The Hill. It says CNN's Jim Acosta got into a heated exchange. Oh, okay, before I move on. NATO lost its purpose a long time ago. Yeah, when, exactly. It lost its purpose a long time ago, but they're still using it. It's right. Warsaw Pact no longer exists, which is the reason why NATO was created. And being that one side of that picture doesn't exist, the other side shouldn't either. I've talked to people that are, because this world is as small as it is with the internet that we have these days. I've talked to a couple different people from different areas of the world, different countries, and their perspectives on it. And they actually say, well, we need you to protect us. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't even be here any longer. So it's really something. And I agree with you, though. It should be disbanded. It shouldn't even be something that we should even be thinking of. But we're going to continue to think of it because they're like, I'm assuming, in my opinion, NATO would have something to do with, eventually have something to do with this new world order that we're being thrown up against. And this world's just not nice. It's just going to get worse and worse. And the first article we read was another chicken farm, 200,000 chickens, and massive amount of eggs that are not going to be produced now. And it's just like, yep, there you go. Let's drive up more prices on more things across the United States, and it was to see what happens next. It's really very disturbing. I was kind of waiting just in case I didn't want to move on too far, and then I was going to have to backtrack. But this is Jim Acosta. He actually had a couple comments that he had made in there about the Uvalde, Texas shooting. Or it was just, I'm 51 years old. This has been going on for decades, and it just seems to me that the NRA just has to look into its soul. I'm sorry to say it that way, sir, but you and your other board members need to look into the souls and see what you can do for these kids. And it's like, well, what are you getting at? I know I didn't want to really hit on this because I was thinking that I was going to do something else, but I'm hitting on it because you just keep on bringing it up. You keep on throwing things in my face. I don't know how to actually, just not talk about it. So it's like, this guy trying to actually say that we should actually do more for these kids. It's like, well, what we should do for them? We should do what every other country does. And we should have armed guards at the door. And each teacher should actually have their own personnel to take care of their classroom if something gets past the front door. We're the only country that doesn't do this.
Or just have the police actually do their fucking job and get in there.
I mean, you'd think, oh yeah, why don't you just have the police do their job? Well, when you actually think about it, you say, I remember in when I was in high school, there being liaison officer that was there for maybe an hour a day.
They're there all day now.
Well, let's hope. If they're there all day, was there not one at this elementary school? Or was he on lunch at the time?
No, probably not.
Right, because they're like, oh, it's an elementary school. It's just a bunch of kids. They're okay. It really has an issue. And, you know, like I kind of said earlier, I really don't want to talk about this because I want to try doing more of an NRA episode or whatever where we just talk about this stuff or whatever. Because, I mean, there was this convention that ended today. Pretty much it's insane that we have gun-free zone in a place that's vulnerable. I mean, gun-free zones don't work. We know this. We have the most dangerous cities that are all considered gun-free zones. Chicago. And you're like, oh, well, you know, the guns didn't come from Chicago. Well, no. They brought them in.
State of Illinois?
It probably is. Mitchell can probably actually answer that one a little bit better than I could. But, you know, when it comes down to it, you know, it's just like that city alone is one of the most dangerous. And it's a gun-free zone. And it's like, well, why? Stop it.
Yo, shout out to my Chirac boys, though.
Yeah, right.
The Chiracis.
Oh, my God. And we can't talk about the Koof because, you know, YouTube doesn't allow us to. So the next article that was up or whatever is as summer begins, Koof cases are 6 times higher than they were last year.
We can just call it the Raging Contagion, and they'll have no idea.
Oh, my God. If it's worse than it was last year, 6 times worse than it was last year, what's that mean? Slade says, especially in this city with a history of organized crime, which is still taking place today, but in different forms. Yeah. We can't talk about Koof.
No, I was about to say something super spicy for YouTube.
Oh, my Lord. They got an article for Queen Elizabeth in her 70 years on the British throne. You know she's going to be the last one that's going to sit on that throne, right? They're not going to allow it to continue.
You never know.
That's the way they're saying. And maybe it's a conspiracy. Maybe it's not. Maybe I have no clue what I'm talking about. But I've heard that they say that Queen Elizabeth will be the last. And they'll extinguish the Parliament of England, creating a quote-unquote democracy. We need to come up with a better word for democracy.
Slavery.
Yep. That works. What the hell?
No, wait, shit.
What the hell? What's this? See if I can't. Oh, there's a video. Maybe. Let's share a video. Anybody that calls out Joe Biden is my friend.
Hey, if you're talking about our dear lovely Sully, that's very rude. She's lovely.
No more old ladies taking the helm, eh? You know, when I started this episode, Jimmy just so happened to jump in on Discord, and he was asking me what I was going to do, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do something either way. But as I was setting up for this, it looked like there's a couple other people that were actually starting up live streams as I was talking to them, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me right now. So I'm assuming that she's sitting on one of the other streams, Eventually, she might see that I'm live and maybe come over if I'm still going after their streams end.
What are they talking about? Oh, that's right. They're doing the depth stuff. Nobody knows what the outcome is. Let's just shut up until it happens.
No, right, exactly. There's nothing. And that's why. I think I said something to AmericaShirts the other day. I said we can do a Johnny Depp episode. I'm fine with that, but we're not doing it now. We're not going to do it tomorrow. We'll do it when everything's done and said. So like maybe Wednesday, because tomorrow is a holiday, so they won't be in. I don't know if they'd make it. Maybe they'll be done on Tuesday, but either I'm not. Even then, I don't want to do it because it's like everybody's done it. Every single person that I watch a video on, everybody's done a Johnny Depp, this, that, or the other, several times over, and it's just stop. I don't want to hear it. I want him to actually win. So I mean, it's not that I'm against Johnny Depp. I'm just against the whole thing that's lasted way too long. Just let's move on.
It has been quite drawn out.
Mm-hmm. So this is Trey Gaudy. Let's see what he has to say.
Welcome back to Sunday Night in America. Comments by President Biden that the U.S. would intervene militarily if China invaded Taiwan have sparked concern and confusion, leaving some to fear an escalation between the two countries. The White House communications team
is this
always
the walking back of
their
that
steps
thing
in
again?
because they seem to have to walk back a lot of what he says. What is controversial about saying you cannot invade a sovereign neighboring country? Joining us now is Florida Congressman and U.S. Army veteran Brian Mast. War in Ukraine, the threat of war elsewhere. What did you make of President Biden's comments on Taiwan and China? They didn't seem that provocative to me, Brian, but you're an expert.
No, well, what you make out of it is just uncertainty, and they use the term to describe the policy. They call it strategic ambiguity, and ambiguity means uncertainty, but there is nothing strategic about the way the Biden administration operates. I think the best way I could describe them, it's like when a person gets in the water,
Hey, welcome back,
they
Doug.
can either flail about and drown, or they can
What's up,
stretch their
Mitchell?
arms out and swim. And in both activities, they look pretty similar, but the end result are far different. And this administration takes everything that happens and they start flailing about and drowning, and they're taking America down with them.
And Brian, what I find shocking about that is during the 2020 election, I mean, I'm sure you heard it too. I mean, all I heard is how experienced he was. He's the most experienced person to ever run for president on matters of foreign policy, and yet, I mean, you can't let him ad-lib at all. I mean, I don't have a problem with defending Taiwan. I am concerned when the leader of the free world goes off script.
Never will this man be able to ad-lib anything. He can't even ad-lib that he needs to get his ass wiped.
Whether it's now as the president or as the vice president or as a senator, and the track record is this: he'll go out there and say
Whistle
something,
while you work it,
and
Mitchell.
then right after that, people are going to have to go back after him and clean up and change and apologize for whatever it is that he said. Imagine if I came on here with you here and speak to you, and right afterwards, my staff has to go out there and say, no, everything that Representative Mast just said, no, that's totally wrong. He didn't mean that. He actually meant something entirely different, and that was the entire news cycle. That's what this administration's news cycle constantly is, whether it was
Over and
withdrawal from
over.
Afghanistan and the lies that came with that, or our southern border, or what's going on with China, Taiwan, Iran, Russia, Ukraine, you name it.
All right, you went through a litany of things happening.
His whole career? Yeah, all 48 years.
The difference is now it affects other countries.
It is now 50 years because it's now 50 years that he's been there. Too long. There should be term limits on almost everything. He's a senator for way too long. I'm watching your show while they paint. Typing on my phone sucks. Well, just watch.
Because you
just
said
watch.
A instead of I. It's Gucci, Doug.
Around the world. When you are back home working in Florida, which I'm sure you go home every chance you get, and I would too if I lived in a state as beautiful as Florida.
Well,
Yeah, it was 48 when he took office. So
from a foreign policy standpoint.
So when they're looking at foreign policy, yeah, they're looking at what's going on in the Ukraine. But when they think foreign policy right now, they're thinking southern border. They're thinking, why are people coming across illegally, getting supplies that I can't even find in the grocery store? They're getting it for free. I have to pay more and more for it increasingly. And they're looking at it as an inflationary issue. Why are my dollars going somewhere else that got pulled out of my pocket after I worked for 40, 50, 60 hours this week, busting my tail? That's truthfully, it's the most common thread that I'm hearing from anybody, whether I'm out there at the gas pump filling up my own car or walking through the grocery store with my own cart. People are talking to me about it.
All right, Brian, you're on Foreign
you
Affairs.
have your own
Let's
cart,
assume,
Brian.
I know that.
Wow.
Lucky you. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Swanky.
la-di-da.
Man, but let's assume the Republicans take the House. You're still on Foreign Affairs. What will some of the committee's priorities be as they provide oversight over the Biden administration for at least 2 years?
So one thing, I think you'll see a change on Foreign Affairs where there will actually be an oversight subcommittee for Foreign Affairs to look at what happened with the withdrawal from Afghanistan, everything that went wrong there, the lies that have occurred, and so many other Foreign Affairs issues. I think you look beyond that, and there will actually be a demand for the administration to come to Congress with strategy. Let me give you a specific example. We can talk about the $40 billion that was just basically authorized for Ukraine.
Slade says, I've pushed carts before. We ran out of them.
We things were well.
LOL. Imagine now. I'm guessing that was a when things were well.
Yeah, I think that was one.
Imagine now. Yeah. You know, I let my little boy push carts around the store or whatever. He just loves it. He just thinks it's great. He doesn't understand any of this stuff, you know, so he just, you know, nothing phases him that, you know, he's doing anything. You know, like, let's go, you know, whatever. Go ahead, push the cart. Because what's he going to do if I don't let him push the cart? He's going to scream and he's going to crappie flop until he gets his way. Just let him do it, right? So, I mean, it's so fun to push a cart. Especially when it's your own. Right, Brian Mast?
Lucky bastard.
Congress did not receive anything on either side, Republicans or Democrats, because I asked the Democrat majority leader about this, about what was the strategy. What do you get for $40 billion? Does Ukraine win? Do the Russians get kicked out of there?
No.
You know, what do you actually get? Does the Ukrainian government get to stay, you know, still operating for another couple weeks? No strategy. Nobody knew, but the money was going to go out there and being spent anyway. That's the difference. You'll actually get strategy and answers.
Just a couple kickbacks for the big
All
guy.
right, Brian, I know that
Bro,
it's
he
Memorial
almost
Day, and
spent
you are
as
still
much
very much
as,
alive, but I want to say thank you for
Elon
your
Musk did on
service to
Twitter.
our country, and you were wonderful
Mr.
to serve
Elon,
with,
yeah.
and I appreciate your
All good, Doug.
No, we got you. We got you.
Thank you, Trey.
Thank you, Trey.
Looks like he has a dent in his head.
People with bald heads kind of have the tendency to look like they have some dents. It's kind of it's us with hair.
Somebody pushed his baby button when he was younger. That's why he's on Fox.
Let's see here. So, I mean, that was an interesting article, really. I mean, regarding the Taiwan stuff, you know, whatever, you know, that little island of China that's sitting out in the middle of this of the Asian Sea there, whatever. I mean, you kind of you can only walk back so many times before people start looking at you like, yeah, right, you're not telling us the truth. Well, there's people like me and, you know, a couple other people that I know that seen it from day one, that this guy was not the best person for this job. But, you know, we're just going to stick him in there and we're going to allow him to run his administration the way he wants, dictator, and just screw us.
Oh, Frogman, a wild Sully appeared on Discord. Go Wrangler.
Wild Sully appeared on Discord. Well, there's a couple of links around. I wonder if she might actually see it. Of course, she's also going to see that, you know, the experts' lives. You know, so she who knows where she's going to go.
Oh, she'll go to the expert over us. I mean, come on.
Who knows? My thought was that she was already there.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Even though it's LawTube.
LawTube.
I'm gonna just kind of turn on his show here real quick just to see who's over there. Yeah, he's got a couple people in there.
We're all a little community here, Slade. I don't know if it's your first time tuning in or what's up. But
I think Slade has actually been with us once or twice before.
Okay, I've also not been here.
No, right, exactly. So I think so anyway. If I'm not mistaken, he showed up with AmericaShirts a couple times.
Oh, cool beans.
So I'm like, what in the world? You got to be kidding me. So did you watch the NRA thing?
No.
Okay, so there was a little speech that had happened at the, you know, for the NRA in the last 3 days or whatever. So like, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I think I put it under road plows.
That Donald Trump did?
Yeah, that little bit from, yeah.
I got cliff notes from that today, yeah. But mostly it's been nice, so I've been getting out. And
exactly. I got out today as well. I didn't sit around. So then, right, there was an article. I believe that I threw it up under Mitchell's, because of who it was. So it's like, I know Mitchell likes Donald Trump. So I threw it under his, showing that there was... Where the heck did it go? Showing that there's a speech anyway from the NRA.
President.
Right. So it was Ted Cruz, a couple other people as well, and then the president showed up and did a little speech. Kristi Noem showed up. There's a couple other people that showed up for this particular speech. Now, you and me both have watched plenty of Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Plenty. Over and over again. And we laugh at him every single time that he actually dances. Because it's funny. Isaac Hayes' Family Furious. Trump used song for his jig at the controversial NRA speech.
What song did he use? Hold on, I'm coming.
Hold on, I'm coming. And he danced at the NRA thing. It's Trump. It's the way he is. He's going to sit there and change for something day to day. He isn't going to be like, oh, I should actually think about this. I'm at the NRA thing. I shouldn't play the song and dance. No, that's not him.
No, but listen, dude, like he took the gay anthem and he's like, I'm going to use this. And he's like, he's told it's the gay anthem and he's like, I'm still going to use this. Yes, he is a showman, 100%.
Yeah, over and over again. So then, I really don't need to read this because, I mean, we've pretty much got the gist of it. Trump danced to Hold On, I'm Coming. And the late legendary musician Isaac Hayes' family is complaining that they used his song during the NRA convention. It's like, they stated the family Isaac Hayes did not approve and would never approve the use of Hold On, I'm Coming by Sam and Dave, but Donald Trump at his weekend NRA convention. Our condolences go to the victims and families of Uvalde and mass shooting victims everywhere. You know, and this is coming from the official Isaac Hayes page.
It's some
The family
kind
of the
dedication.
late legendary musician, late legendary musician Isaac Hayes. He's no longer alive. Why does he still have an account? And who gets a check mark and gets to continue to use it postpartum?
Something wrong. I like that this guy's name sounds like the Health at Any Size group.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
I said I like that this guy's name sounds like the Health at Any Size group, the Haze.
Isaac Hayes. But I mean, in a bold display of disrespect, Trump bashed gun control, held all firearms in his Friday speech, which included the kind of devastating assault weapons that don't exist, that killed 19 children and 20 teachers. AR does not stand for assault. Anybody that doesn't understand that needs to actually go look it up and see that it actually stands for Armalite.
Yep, Armalite.
The original producers of this rifle. It's not dangerous to carry a rifle. It's only dangerous to give it to somebody with a mental capacity to not know how to use it correctly. Trump then mangled the pronunciation of the list of victims' names, which he read. He didn't mangle that. He didn't mangle any of the pronunciations of those names. He said the names correctly. The only thing that was wrong was each time that he read a name, there was a ding of the bell.
Man, this guy could sneeze and they'd be like, "Oh, what a bastard!"
Right. When he got to the very, very end of it, he was naming off the two teachers. He named off the one, and the bell rang as he was naming off the second. That was the only thing that was a little strange. It's like, oh, he went a little quick on that one. He should have waited another half a second. Other than that, he didn't mangle anything.
They're so nitpicky and they're so like, it's just awful. I don't like how scummy that is. They're still doing this shit.
So it says the lyrics, including "Just hold on, I'm coming," sounded suspiciously like a preening campaign song, shockingly inappropriate before the dead children of Uvalde had even been buried.
Oh, I'm gonna come.
Don't come. Please don't come.
Do not come. Oh, I'm gonna come.
Oh, I'm gonna come. A long list of musicians from the Rolling Stones to Black Sabbath, Adele, R.E.M., Rihanna, and Aerosmith, and the states of Tom Petty and Prince have contacted Trump's campaign organizations to demand he stop appropriating their songs without permission to promote himself. Neither of the artists nor songs have anything remotely to do with his position. They've charged. Who cares? Who really gives a crap what song he's dancing to?
Apparently, these people.
Right, these post-humanist, complaints.
Can we see the dance?
Yeah, absolutely.
Make sure you mute it because the music's probably, yeah.
Oh, I don't care.
Yeah,
Because
baby.
you need to hear the music so that you understand what actually happens here. So then he goes to the side there. Okay, here we go. Because it's Trump. It's wonderful. That's what he does.
It's like if your grandpa started to do the same thing. Like, it'd be funny too.
Right. You watch your white granddad try dance and you look at him and be like,
Grandpa, sit down.
Grandpa, sit down. Apparently this goes on for another whole minute. Slade laughing. That's good.
That's fine. Get it.
So I don't think he actually dances anymore. I think he just did that little bit of a dance, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
You look like he was getting ready to.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Like he was
he's
gonna
getting
do that.
down. He's like, yeah,
Okay,
fist
okay.
pump,
Yep,
fist
yep.
pump. Whoop whoop.
Clapping to the beat. I dig it.
Yeah, you
You're
got
my
it.
favorite person in the audience out there. I love you.
Oh, and you too. Yep, stand up. Yep, you.
Oh, you're pretty good too. I'll give you a clap. That guy's amazing, though. Okay. I can do these better than Biden. Watch.
I'll dance as I go down the stairs.
Look, I did this stairs so good. Look, the people love me. Joe would have wandered
That's
off.
all it was.
without me.
It was a 2-second. He did a think back and forth, and then it was over with. And oh my God, you went against the children of Uvalde. They're not even buried yet. It's like, well,
Just because.
come on, stop with the TDS. 'Cause that's what it is. That's what it comes down to. Everybody's got a little bit of TDS left in them. And they're like, oh, you know who's really bad for their TDS? The Hill. Oh, my Lord, dude. You read anything come out of the Hill, there's going to be some sentence that has, in almost every article, that says something about Trump. I'm like, stop it. Imagine that 2 whole seconds of mildly swaying his hips. Yep. And fist pumping. Oh, yes. We got a couple dances. This one. Do, 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 do.
Oh, the hammer.
Yeah.
Oh, the floss. Get the floss. You, yes, you're great.
You stand up. Dance with me.
Dance with your president.
You and you, both of you stand up. Let's do this. You, come here, right here. We'll do
We're
this.
doing this. All right, here we go. Do this
And
with
move
me.
the legs. Move the legs with it. Come on.
You, and definitely you.
That
And
like
you, yeah.
that whole row. Perfect. Good job.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Because
it's
what
so
doesn't make you
beautiful.
laugh at this guy? And who cares where he was holding it? Who cares? Oh, he did it at an NRA
look.
convention.
Look, the people, they love me. Yep.
You.
We're gonna build it.
Flossy, flossy, flossy.
You. All good. Rock on.
Flossy, flossy, flossy.
That's his favorite one. Get out and vote.
If you don't know who you're voting for, do some research first. Doesn't matter who you're voting for, just do your research before you do it. Find out that, if there's somebody that's actually very, very into plagiarizing things, running for president several times in the last 30 years and failing because of plagiarism, that maybe he just shouldn't be. I mean, just saying. I do have one of Trump dancing.
Oh, let's do it. It's amazing.
Back to them, or do you want to stay with Donald Trump?
Fuck Joe Biden.
That's my boy. Fuck Joe Biden.
I'm like, oops, I hit the wrong one. Fuck Joe Biden.
That's a smart kid.
Very smart kid. Oh, what the hell? Some strangeness going on in this world. It's this Chicago man charged with allegedly setting homeless man on fire.
Imagine 2 whole seconds. Just swaying his hips. That's great. That's great.
What the hell? There's people that are wrong in this world. Abortion. Pope Francis elevates bishop who defended serving pro-choice. Go figure. I just don't know what to do anymore.
I got you.
Oh, what you got here?
Things that go bing with President Trump.
Oh, you got to show your volume.
Oh, I do? The
Yeah,
last one I didn't. Wacky.
Oh, there was no volume while he was dancing. I just didn't say anything because I'm like, didn't think about it. I'm like, oh, there was no.
Can you hear it now?
No.
No?
Uh-uh.
What in the hell? Should be good to go. Huh. Let's see. All right, I'll go back and do it again. I'll share system audio, but it might come through with you talking.
Yeah, I'll just shut up if that happens.
Okay. How is it?
Yep.
Yep, it's coming through twice. Okay, here we go.
There, bing, 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 bing. You know, in the old days, bing, bong. You know, with the map,
bong.
bing, bing, bing. Little mouth on him. Bing, bing, bing. Bing, 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 bing. Bing, bing, bing. They're cleaning up.
You know what the funny one is?
14
You
points.
should
Bing,
pause
bing,
this
bing,
first.
bing. Anthony Weiner.
Oh, there we go.
The funny one is, I've actually been copyright claimed on this particular video.
No way. Okay.
Yep.
Well, we'll get off of it then.
That's why I'm like, you might as well just stop.
What about the remix?
I'm serious. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. How does that work?
Wait.
It's just a bing, 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 bing,
What a
bing.
remix do find.
I'm like, give me copyright claim. Fuckers.
Oh, it is past 12 though, so I do have to do my ski-daddle.
All right.
Well, hey, thanks for having me, Dog. It was
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely. I really don't know how much longer I'm going to actually hang out here. So as long as I have a chat, we'll talk with chat. and see.
Always a good time to go over Trumpisms.
Thanks for joining me. Everybody should actually look down below in the descriptions. Jimmy YouTube does have a couple links down there. Follow his YouTube. Follow his TikTok.
Yeah, at the Atlas Pass.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and then at Real Anime Rich on Twitter. I don't really post very much though, but you can follow me there too if you like.
Awesome.
But, I will bid you farewell. Later, sir.
You have a wonderful night.
Hey, you too. Have a good show here.
So, it's just me. Let's see. I was kind of skimming here, whatever. So it's like entertainment. Snoop Dogg cancels upcoming non-U.S. show due to unforeseen scheduling conflicts. Leota's wife or fiance mourns late actor, so he was engaged. Matthew McConaughey visits hometown of Uvalde. Oh, go figure. All right. Oh no. So, I mean, Slade, Mitchell, if you guys are actually paying attention, I don't know if Slade, if you actually have access or not. Do you? If you don't, if you'd like, I can get you a link. You guys can come in here and you can just go like this. You can hold a conversation with me if you want. Bo Hopkins, actor of American Graffiti, and Sam Pinkerpot Classic, dead at 80. Ronnie Hawkins at 87. Oh, okay, that's fine. The thing is I'm contesting with too many other people that are currently live. I should have just not done this or done both. Or I got a new. Thank you for subscribing, Slade. That is awesome. If you want to join Discord, stick around and I'll throw a link at you. And you can come hold conversations with us on a regular, whether it be just through text or whatever. If you're interested, let me know. It's just something that I offer anybody that's actually subbed to the channel. Entertainment's just too much for me. I just can't even look at it. It just floors me. And the actors and actresses that feel the need to push their political beliefs on the rest of the world. I mean, I get it. You should actually, get into your politics, but you're an actor and an actress. You suck at being yourself, which is the reason that you go and you act like somebody else. If that's the case, that you suck so much at being yourself, I don't want to know your personal opinions. Maybe one of you, if you were acting as one of your characters in one of your movies, maybe I might show a little bit of interest, but otherwise, F that shit. Slade doesn't know anything about Discord. That's fine. It's just something that's available if you ever decide that you want to actually check it out, want to try it or whatever. We can actually catch you links and you can come hold conversations with us on a regular. Let's see what this is. Being that tomorrow, or for some of us already today, it is Memorial Day. Those people turn me off from entertainment so bad I will probably never watch anything from them again. No, oh, dude, I'm totally with you on that one. Seriously, have not watched a movie in a few years. Like, I watched a movie with my wife a couple years ago, like 3 years ago. Oh shit, we're going on 4. Holy crap. 4 years ago. And it was an old movie. It's like I refuse to pay attention to anything that's new or recent. I have not watched a regular television of any sort since George Floyd stuff. I stopped paying attention to the entertainment side of things or whatever. And when I say stop paying attention to the entertainment side of things, I was a very avid WWE fan, WWF, like since I was a little kid, watching Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant all the way to recent or whatever, until George Floyd and politics took over media, and when they took over everything, they took over everything. And I just like it just totally turned me away from it. And I have not watched anything. I don't like to watch it. I don't want to. I have no interest in any of it. Let's make this a slightly bigger screen. So this Memorial Day, Gary Sinise shares his personal life mission to honor America's military. Actor, humanitarian Gary Sinise Foundation revealed that he assists America's military. Awesome. Oh, it's a little video.
Award-winning actor and philanthropist Gary Sinise is making a big change in his life, and he's telling us first.
Bringing a lot of people with him. Joining us live from Los Angeles, Gary Sinise. Gary, welcome back. Thanks for getting up early, but soon you'll be closer to our time zone. Your goal was always to get to Hollywood and be the star. You did it. You have your foundation. You launched it. But now you're picking up stakes. Why?
Yeah, well, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning.
Everybody, it's nice to see you. We just decided as a kind of made a family decision that after so many decades and some great successes here in California and the movie and television business, we wanted to change. And so I basically started looking at other states and, places where I might want to relocate, and made a decision to relocate the family to Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, that's awesome that he decided to actually move his family. I mean, Tennessee is supposedly a fairly decent place to go, depending on who you talk to. I'm glad that he's actually figuring out how to actually get out of California.
Okay. Now, Gary, a lot of people looking in say, okay, Tennessee, a no-tax state. Nashville's great. Did you look at other states? I mean, I'm sure
Florida,
you looked at
Texas,
I'm
South
sure you
Dakota.
looked at Florida. Ultimately, why did you decide on Nashville?
I looked at all those no-tax states, yes.
Right.
Looked at every single one of them. But I have a lot of friends in the entertainment industry in the Nashville area. I have a band. I've been playing for over 20 years. Many friends in the country music business and filmmaker friends. There's all kinds of production going on in the Nashville area. It's a great no-tax state, as you mentioned. I think it'll be good for the foundation.
Slade, I seriously, I get what you're saying. It's expensive to rent even just the moving truck. I just moved into my new place here about a week ago, and we took the moving van and put our van on a dolly and moved it from one state to another. We were in the state of Minnesota. I'm not going to really tell you where I'm at now, but from the state of Minnesota to the state that we're in, this long drive in this U-Haul was dramatic cost. It was like, holy man, does it cost so much to get anything to move. If you can afford it, though, and you can actually get out of those strongholds like California, Minnesota, and get to one of these, like he said, tax-free states or whatever, one of the better states, Florida, Texas, Tennessee, South Dakota, wherever, however, there's a good list of good states that actually just get into or whatever. And if you can actually make it to them, your life changes, and it's just relaxing to know that don't have to deal with certain politics of these blue states.
Gary Sinise Foundation. We've been here. We launched 11 years ago here in California. It's been great. But, I'm always looking to do something new and something different. Tennessee is plopped right there in the middle of the country. It's surrounded by 7 different states. So you have military bases and veterans in the area. A lot of those places I've played and been to. I think it'll be a great place for us, and it'll be centrally located for me.
Yeah.
Easier to get to the West Coast, easier to get to the East Coast, to try to continue the mission to serve and honor the men and women who serve our country.
Gary, it's been such a delight for us to watch your career
up, Mike?
with Forrest Gump, and then your music career, and everything that you do with your foundation and with veterans. What percentage of your foundation is able to move to Nashville, and what was the reaction of your staff?
Well, yeah,
Seem to be having a slight issue with Mike walking. You with me? Oh.
Oh.
What?
It's with.
Oh. Mike is walking. I get it.
Technology.
What's up, man? Your camera's looking at you.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, thanks, technology.
What's going on, my man?
Out for a walk.
Out for a beautiful walk. Yes.
Haha, I fixed it.
There you go. People are monsters.
Exactly. I don't know. On the way back from my friend's house, figured I'd drop in the show and see what was happening.
I'm sitting here by myself talking to a new subscriber of Slade Raider.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting to actually pick up another subscriber this week before the month is over. I'm kind of excited
Always
about
good
that.
to have a new subscriber.
Slade says, "What's up, Mike?"
Yo.
So, I was kind of going through. What was I watching here? Oh, Gary Sinise is moving from California to Tennessee. He's actually moving his stuff. It's just like there's basically what I had pointed out to Slade was that we there's so many blue strongholds that he was even saying it's expensive to get the moving truck. Yes, we just moved last week
Because they're all going one way and the other way.
Right, exactly. They're all going the other way. When I got to this location that I'm currently in, and I went to go drop off the U-Haul, the lot was full.
Of course it was.
There's
Everyone's like,
so
yeah, fuck town.
Right, they're all like, oh, screw it, let's go there. So, I mean, really, we were just kind of reading the paper. We hit up a couple different articles that were... the first thing we talked about was the commercial egg farm that was on fire in Minnesota.
Oh, geez.
200,000 chickens. This particular farm actually produces eggs in both the shell and liquid form for places like McDonald's.
Gotcha. So what you're saying is the Egg McMuffin is going to be in trouble in a couple weeks.
Or just anything, really. I mean, when it comes to chickens, I mean, we've hit it on this a couple weeks ago where we actually talked about
all the
food shortages,
fires.
right?
Yeah.
And all the fires and stuff, and all these. So it's like perfect timing for it to be yet one more, for us to just kind of quick hit on it. Jimmy YouTube was with me when we went through it, and he's just kind of like. They're just kind of whatever they can do to screw the next guy, and that's pretty much what it's coming down to.
It's pretty bad.
It is. It's disgusting. I think the funniest thing that we actually did was we laughed at the Isaac Hayes family being furious with Trump for dancing his jig at the NRA to their song. I was like, that's hilarious. I was seriously, because I didn't know if anybody else was going to show up. I was getting ready to most likely wrap up soon or whatever. I mean, I'm going an hour and 20. Not a bad show.
I mean, you don't have to stay on my account. I was just dropping in to kill some time.
No, that's what, it's like, well, we'll just kind of talk to you instead, because, the news that's out there is disturbing.
Extremely disturbing.
It's like everything that you look at.
In the latest episode of Get Woke, Go Broke, Black Rifle Coffee Company is just in the shitter. Accused of serious financial crimes related to their SPAC, listing on Wall Street, being sued by investors over fraud. Not surprised. You're the kind of person.
This is the stuff that you had posted earlier from the brief, right? The Barnes brief.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Great moments in American history.
If I can. I didn't read any of these. I didn't have a chance to earlier. This is 1791 management. Oh, what am I sharing? Let me share the screen quick. 1791 management sends letter of Black Rifle to Black Rifle Company demanding they brew up an action plan to address serious allegations of corporate governance failures and code of conduct violations.
Who knew that the guys who called their own people a bunch of white supremacist stupid people were actually jerks themselves? I never would have guessed.
See, fraudsters need to use some mechanisms in issuing securities of themselves. Will often issue stock pursuant to the exemption of SEC registration statements. This president's original idea came from Greg Iverson, who is subject to securities fraud class action lawsuit, alleging he participated in artificially inflating overstock's price while he was their CFO. Oh, oops. Shouldn't have done that.
These people are all shitbags and then have turn around and lecture us about things, and you're just like, bro, what? You're committing serious financial crimes, and you think the Kyle Rittenhouse supporters are the idiots? Like, what? What? That's what always annoys me about this, right? Is they were all sanctimonious in the New York Times about Kyle supporters. And then you dig a little bit into what they're doing, and lo and behold, financial fraud. Okay.
Exactly, Slade. He says, oh man, these companies get worse and worse. Exactly. Worse and worse. Every time that you look at them, you're just like, oh my God, what'd you do now?
And it's like, well, I wouldn't even care as much, except you made a huge point about lecturing other people. So what the fuck, man? Oh, well.
I mean, I don't know if anybody can really read it, but I'm sure they actually can see it or whatever. So I have the 7 bullet points that they had sitting there or whatever from March 3rd through May 5th. And I just kind of skimmed through it or whatever real quick and just like, oh, really?
I mean, there was some really shady stuff. Like, they went ahead and sold insider shares after hours before delisting their product for being crap and trapping all their investors in the stock. Straight out fraud. Okay.
Right? Good job, Black Rifle. I mean, oh my Lord.
Right, and so you're like, where do you guys get off lecturing other people about their behavior?
No, I mean, because they pushed this racism crap back in Kyle Rittenhouse, right? That's when that was?
Yeah, and the other link points out that their influence on social media dropped immediately after making those statements about their own supporters. It's like, well, yeah, man, of course it did. Nobody's going to support you when you just call them racist idiots.
So here, real quick here, it says, Black Rifle Coffee is a company that offers direct-to-consumer, ready-to-drink, and retail services to deliver coffee and merchandise to its customers with an emphasis on supporting the military. They're also led by the CFO, whose last job was an 18-month stint where he resigned while being sued for stock price manipulation. A co-founder was who had restraining order instated from a former contractor alleged sexual harassment from at least 2 of the company's 3 co-founders and the CEO that appears to be propagating a culture of sexism within the workplace.
Right.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
Right. And the people who support Kyle Rittenhouse are the problem. Like, are you fucking kidding?
Disgusting pedophilia crap, molestation, sexual contact. I mean, it's just, ugh. That's disgusting. But, you know, let's talk, you know, we can talk about the stock manipulation instead. The one
How
thing
dare that child defend himself? He should be more like me and con our investors. Okay. Okay.
Slade says the one thing that should be obvious is to not berate your customer base, but somehow these companies can't manage to do that. Well, no, because they don't understand what their customer base really seriously is. They just assume they go off of their demographics, and then they go and they throw some crap out there, and they're like, "Oh shit, what the hell is that?"
I mean, woke is just a way for assholes to self-select and let you know that they're being an asshole.
You're still going around 12 on 2. Oh, looks like AmericaShirts could probably hopping in here in about a half hour if I'm still going.
Shirts, do it. We miss you.
You know, I felt the same way. I mean, it's like he wasn't here yesterday, and then he messaged me earlier today and says he's got things going on, and I'm like, oh man, it's been a few days since like going through withdrawals of AmericaShirts.
We just can't do anything without his wonderful presence here. It's just not the same.
His rants are great. That's
They're
the
beautiful.
thing.
They're truly beautiful.
There's a reason when I first started doing this that he was my very first guest. So I'm like, yes, you want to join me?
He'll be the next
like,
Alex
sure.
Jones. Just needs a little refinement, and he'll be there.
Right? The class action complaint filed in the U.S. District Court names former Overstock CEO Patrick Byrne and former Chief Financial Officer Greg Iverson along with the company as defendants in the alleged scheme to deceive the investing public over a 5-month period that ended September 23rd of this year. Defendants were motivated to and did conceal the true operational and financial condition of Overstock and materially misrepresented and failed to disclose the conditions that were adversely affecting the company throughout the class period. The lawsuit states...
Just like my rifle. Stock went down from 34 to 11 in like a couple days when everyone realized no one bought their stuff anymore.
What the hell? I'm just kind of skipping through this article a little bit.
Yeah, all the details are important, but it's really fun.
No, right. Right. Nicole Arbor, I had to get a restraining order last year against one of the founders of BRCC. Court granted an emergency injunction at the time as well. For the last 4 years, I've been stalked, harassed, and terrified by this group for the crime of not sleeping with anyone who demanded it. Go figure. So let's see. In the lawsuit, Iverson is accused of misrepresenting the financial state of the company and deceive investors. After Iverson resigned on September 17th, it came out that the company was cutting its operation guidance for the year and revealed that demand for its products from customer was weakening. The result, insiders like the CEO sold over $20 million in stock on an engineered pop that the stock created over 65% of the months following his resignation. It is beyond me how analysts offering these services in the public would miss such a red flag that took only rudimentary research to find out, especially considering there are other serious concerns with the leadership of the company. One of the co-founders had a restraining order in place from a former contracted employee of the business. More than one of the co-founders, including those in a relationship, were alleged to have been trying to sleep with contracted employees, and all co-founders, including the CEO, have allegations of harassment and promoting a sexist workplace culture against them. Well, I mean...
But Kyle Rittenhouse supporters are the problem.
Over and over again, Kyle Rittenhouse supporters are the problem.
I mean, I'm sure they are a problem for groups like that, but
To be clear, the only of these that can be confirmed as true is the existence of the restraining order made against Nicole Arbor, which is the tweet that we read, as part of court document. The other pieces are just allegations, but public conduct from the co-founders makes me believe that their behavior may have a material impact on the company's ability to achieve its operational objectives. Take this comment from the CEO calling a woman a dumpster. What the heck? Let's see. So hiring 300 veterans and donating over $1 million to veteran nonprofits is bad? How much did you donate last year, dumpster? I mean, is this your cum dumpster? Or is this I mean,
if it's just the word dumpster, I'm not sure that really counts, but
But I mean, he directly called them a dumpster. You know, so it's like,
not
was
a
this
smart
your
move,
personal?
no.
Was this your personal dumpster? So this is take this comment from the CEO calling a woman a dumpster, followed up with another co-founder of the company laughing about it. From what I can ascertain, these are not isolated incidents of poor behavior. While I believe there are serious moral issues at hand, I also believe that business execution concerns from these actions stem from how they impacts the culture of the business. While male employees sending female employees birthday cakes like this, it seems apparent that a broader culture of mistreatment and neglect may be the norm for Black Rifle Coffee. Well, there you go. Pedophiles, anybody that's interested in sexual contact with everybody that they work with, Black Rifle Coffee. They'll hire you.
I mean, just how did they get themselves?
Operational red
like, I don't
flags. Well,
understand any of it.
When you have multiple people throwing allegations at you, regardless if they're just an allegation or they're actually truths, when one person is actually a truth and their story actually, like, totally works itself out, how do you go against everybody else and say, well, yours is just an allegation, though?
I mean, maybe if you're like seats or something, be like, I don't know, I'm in the same city when she said this happened, that because it probably happened.
Slade says Black Rifle Coffee is the worst of the worst. If that was only the truth, because I'm assuming that there's someone that are worse. What's that?
A moment. But
The robots ate your sentence.
it's a little spotty here, so I may cut in a moment. If I do, I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Oh, exception is out.
Sounds good. So operational red flags. While management has several red flags, the company's operational performance and the statements of the public releases raise similar concerns. That's just you. Firstly, the core DTC business is rapidly decelerating, currently composing over 70% of the company's sales, this segment almost doubled sales in 2020. However, the growth fell under the 20% in 2021. In the company's SPAC forecast, the call for growth to keep the quick decline down to under 13% forecast in 2022 and just 8.2% forecast in 2023. Considering the company is not profitable, the rapid decline of growth in their core business is the SPAC release is alarming. I mean, Black Rifle. I mean, a million and a half companies sitting at $750,000 right now. I mean, that's kind of scary. You can sink the rest of that within seconds. Despite themselves forecasting quick declaration of growth, information indicates that the growth may decline further from the company's claims. Web traffic trends from sites like SEMrush show the monthly traffic of Black Rifle Coffee's site declined during December and January and was also facing declines of September and October before news of their SPAC merger brought a temporary surge in clicks. The struggle to keep traffic up matches the over 75% decline in engagement on YouTube. Consistently over 4 million views and 20,000 subscribers a month as recently as May, the company only generates under 800,000 monthly views and almost no subscriber gains today. Even I had a subscriber today. I'm doing better than Black Rifle Coffee.
Yeah, it's a tough spot.
This slowdown is apparent across all social media platforms and materially harms their ability to drive potential customers to their site. Despite advertising their following in investor presentations as a key driver of sales, the large decline of the effectiveness of their content in driving clicks could be a leading indicator of a larger than expected slowdown in their DTC business. Monthly. Okay, so this is video views and subscribers, and dang. So this is monthly gain subscribers. So I mean, back in, they were actually, there's lots of gain, and then all of a sudden drop harder, drop even harder. It's like you can get nothing. As a YouTube quote unquote personality, I seriously would be very disturbed to see such a pattern occur. I'd be like, I guess YouTube's not for me. With the lack of success from the social media content, the company will likely have to spend more than expected on marketing to make up for the lost sales opportunities. Currently, the company expects marketing as a percent of sales to decline from 14.7% to just over 10% over the next 2 years. Unless they can turn around their engagement issues on the social media channels, this seems to be an unrealistic expectation. Like the struggles in the core business, the experimental Outpost model, which the company claims will be responsible for 39% of its sales growth in the next 2 years, has potential execution issues. At this time, the company claims that opening a store will cost $1.5 million. However, with persistent supply chain issues, a renewed rise in the cost of building materials, and a CFO who has a history of obscuring the truth, I struggle to find this claim or a claim that each unit will have 45% cash-on-cash returns reliable. Oh, wow. They're like, you can't even spend $1.5 million to actually put up a storefront because we can't afford to. And potential that if we did, we wouldn't even make the, what's needed to actually keep it running. It is seriously possible that the cost of these stores is higher than anticipated with longer timelines to opening. Businesses in all parts of the economy have faced delays in construction and higher than expected costs from food manufacturers to grocers and more. There's no specific reason to expect Black Rifle Coffee to avoid these issues, knowing the most of the cash from the SPAC merger is going into something that can be considered experimental and unproven according to the company's own risk factors as a significant concern. Slade says they have massive problems. Yeah, to say the least. I mean, maybe they just need to replace a couple of, CEO, CFO stuff or whatever, and maybe a couple of people that weren't into relationships with everybody that worked there when it might actually get the company to come back. Maybe. They probably have to change the name. With all these issues in the company currently being not unprofitable, the fact that the stock currently trades at about 8 times the street consensus EV sales multiple for 2023 stands out. This could be influenced by the low float nature of the stock at the time of the writing, as lookups among these factors limit the number of shares on the market to trade. Regardless, it creates a scenario where material downside is possible in my model. So the big model there with revenue, income, expense, interest, taxes, company income, and ew. That's disgusting. Negative 2,376.63%? What? Why does this company even exist anymore? The following are assumptions. Revenue for all segments does not meet expectations. The company-wide sales failed to grow at 30% in either of the next 2 years. Welcome, Mike. Not
hello,
walking.
Hello. I am in fact back inside now.
So I made it down to the to these assumptions. The following are my assumptions. This is revenue of all segments does not meet expectations, and company-wide sales failed to grow at 30% in either of the next 2 years. The company fails to improve its COGS margin in the face of inflationary pressures. And the third one is his failure to accelerate social media engagement means marketing is a percent of sales does not decline. Those are assumptions.
Yeah.
But if you look at that graphic that's just above there, whatever, I'm like, so it's showing revenues, it's showing income, it's showing marketing and expenses and all these other things. And for whatever reason, the EPS, this is negative 2,376.63%. I'm like, what? You just sink your company. Go bury it already. Stop it. Quit fucking with it. Or go sell it. Go sell it. Give it to somebody that will actually make it profitable again. Maybe they'll have to change the name because, you screwed that.
I mean, they're just having all kinds of fun because everyone hates them now. They tried to get another YouTuber to go on video with them and start promoting their brand, and everyone just told him, "Don't do it, bro."
So before I move on here and continue, for whatever reason, I'm still, because I'm a mod for the expert, I was still watching his chat. I have him muted. And for whatever reason, this person just hit up a chat and says, now Legal Bites is going all out and copy striking videos that criticize her. LawTube sucks. Anyway, Let's back to this. This is because I don't anticipate the company being net EBIT or EBITDA positive. By the end of 2023, I must use an EV sales multiple in my valuation. This multiple was achieved by calculating the mean 2023 EV sales multiple to Starbucks, Celsius, and Monster. This comes out of a multiple of 5.25. Yep, exactly, Slade. People like her always do that crap. He's like, oh, fine, I'll just go and I'll take it out on everybody else. However, I wanted to include their profitability and growth measures to make a more sound determination of what multiples should be given. I conclude that the materially slower growth for Black Rifle Coffee that is forecast compared to Celsius, the substantially lower profitability compared to Monster, and the dependence of future growth being in more capital-heavy segments like Starbucks make Black Rifle Coffee deserve a discount on the average valuation multiple. No, you're not special. F off. Combining my sales forecast with the 2023 EV sales multiple of 4.73 times gives an end of 2023 price target of $9.42. This indicates potential downside of almost 50% from Black Rifle Coffee's closing price of $18.78. In contrast, the lowest sell-side price target currently is $13. Notably, all three sell-side and analysts rate the stock as a buy as of the time of writing, despite their expected return being negative. Analysts are going to sit there and tell me to buy this crap, and they're like, oh, look, it's in the negative, and it's going to go worse, but you should definitely buy it right now. No, if it's going to go worse, I'm going to wait. And I'll buy it then. And then hopefully you'll sell it, and you'll actually convince, somebody else will actually take care of it and actually make it worthwhile again. While valuation is harder to forecast these earnings, I believe that the failure of the company to achieve its stated goals due to the red flags I've noted will cause the valuation given to the company to contract over time. In closing, Black Rifle Coffee has seen its stock perform spectacularly since the SPAC merger closed in the past weeks. Despite this, the red flags in management and operational performance lead me to believe that the stock is seriously overvalued, with considerable downside possible for its reality takes hold. I don't think they're ready for reality to take hold. And the second reality does take hold, I don't believe this company is going to exist. So that was that article. Was there another one over there, or was that it? Just the two? Mike and I? Mike, where'd he go?
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Was that it was just the two articles that you had posted, right?
Yeah, just the two of them.
Yeah, just two. Let's see, what else did you throw over here today? Back at them cashews. I don't think you can hear me.
What are we not hearing? Okay.
What's going on? All right, gentlemen, I'm going to take off for the night or morning. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the stream. Thanks, Slide. Glad to have you as a new subscriber. Let all your friends know that you found somewhere new to actually check out, and we're just always enjoyable to hang out with. Slade Mitchell. Yeah, I see you. Yes, Mitchell, you're here. I see you. What's up, man?
Come join us.
Come hit that link and come join us if you're done with your good night. Or are you saying good night to Slade? KK. Ooh. I don't know what that means. But we can kind of read this, I guess. Maybe. If it lets me. There it is. Ukraine war. Russia prepared to leverage global food security for its own political aim. President Zelensky is urging the West to send more weapons as Russian forces have intensified their assault on the largest city held by Ukrainian forces in the Donbass region. I just seriously, stop sending money, food, weaponry, whatever, to this country. Just stop. They have enough. If they can't win the war with what they have, they're not going to. I just don't see it happening. We'll see what happens here within the next 8 minutes. Oh, I see. I see what's going on, Mitchell. Hanging out over here, hanging out over with the expert all at the same time.
He's too good for us now.
Nah, he's... I just seen him jump in there, say something in their chat or whatever. I'm like, the expert's more like than I am. That's it comes down to.
I just find this article hilarious, right? Because the same nations that just leveled economic sanctions on everything Russian are now complaining that Russia isn't giving them food. Okay. What did you think was going to happen?
Well, right, go and sanction them and stop them from doing things, and then you wonder, how come they're not sending food?
We're going to make the ruble into rubble. You can't even buy McDonald's and Starbucks. Fuck you. Okay. We're not shipping grain. Ah!
Were they number one for wheat?
Ukraine and Russia together are something like 30% of wheat exports.
Right, it's like they were number one, and like Ukraine was like number 3 or something. And I'm like, Jesus, like these guys are
not just wheat,
ridiculous.
Also fertilizer.
So let's see what this article has to say. It says, it's daily intelligence update. The MOD said on Sunday that Russia would then blame the West for any failure. The ministry added that Russia's attempt to achieve reduction in the severity of international sanctions also highlights the stresses sanctions are placing on the regime. Kiev has accused Russia of blockading agricultural exports from Ukraine, which is known as the breadbasket of Europe. Which, obviously they're the breadbasket of Europe. I wonder why. Earlier this week, Russia's deputy foreign minister, Rudenko, said that the country is ready to provide a humanitarian corridor for vessels carrying food through the Black Sea in return for lifting of sanctions. If you're going to lift sanctions, You don't have to worry about having a particular corridor. Just lift the sanctions and let it go. I mean, wait,
Well, the
that's
problem
not
is
going to work.
there's warships. Also, Ukraine mined everything near Odessa. Right, so like the one Ukrainian port that's ostensibly still Ukrainian, the ships can't leave because Ukraine put mines around it. And Russia's like, why are you blaming us for Ukraine mining their own port? Like, that's a them problem.
It seems that there's a lot of them problems with the Ukraine. I mean, it's just when you see
you tried to destroy Russia's country, and now you're mad they won't sell you food.
Right.
What did you think was going to happen?
This whole thing is just a mess. When you see people like Volodymyr Zelensky going and shaking hands with people like Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, it just kind of makes you wonder. You're like, okay, it must be safe. It must be safe to enter this war zone. Let's see. He also requested Ukraine demine the area around the port of Odessa to allow the passage of ships. It comes after French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz argued Vladimir Putin in a call to lift Russian blockade of Odessa port to allow Ukrainian grain exports as the conflict begins ramification beyond Ukraine's border. I mean, again, like you just said, what the hell? Ukraine has to demine it for it to work. Fucking stupid.
I mean, it's just entitled whining about the consequences of their own actions. And then you're like, well, okay, what did you expect when you put your hand on the stove?
Right. So, let's see. The Kremlin said that Mr. Putin told them he was willing to discuss ways to make it possible for Ukraine to resume grain shipments from the Black Sea. Ukraine is a major grain exporter, so the blockage of its exports threatens to result in global food shortages. Oh, go figure. You're blocking yourself from exporting your own stuff, and you're going to sit there and cry about it, that you have no food and you have no way of getting your food out. Peace talks between Ukraine and Russia remain stalled. Russia's Gazprom continues shipping gas to Europe via Ukraine. A 6-year-old boy who lost his family in Ukraine pens open letter to Boris Johnson. Oh no. This is going to be like this most important letter of the century from this 6-year-old boy. Russia claims to have taken the town of Lyman and is closing in on Severodonetsk. Whatever. Ukraine has started receiving Harpoon anti-ship missiles from Denmark and self-propelled howitzers from the U.S. Oh, really? Just, because, 40 million, billion, whatever, how many dollars you want, you would just keep on sending you more shit until you fail. Scholz and Mark on phone call with Putin.
I mean, they're willing to fight this war to the last Ukrainian.
Yeah, all the way to the last one. And that would be Zelensky himself. And I doubt he goes down with his own ship. I just don't see it happening. Elsewhere in the phone conversation, Mr. Markon and Mr. Scholz argued the Russians' leader to release the 2,500 Ukrainian defenders of the Avastal steel plant currently detained by the Kremlin forces, the LC Palace. LEC? I don't know, whatever. Last week, the Russian military declared Avastal and all of Mariupol completely liberated and reported that more than 2,400 fighters had come out of the last pocket of the Ukrainian resistance in the besieged city. The fighters in need of medical treatment were taken to a hospital in the Russian-controlled town of Novaz, whatever, about 30 miles east of Mariupol, while others were taken to Olenivka. President Volodymyr Zelensky said in a television interview that he believed Russia would agree to talks if Ukraine could recapture all the territory it has lost since the 24th of February invasion. So
yeah, good luck with that.
The 24th of February invasion, wasn't that
They're saying
the
they're
original
gonna take
invasion?
back all the land. Yeah, and it's like I don't think that's true.
You're going to take all of it back? And then you'll talk? What the... You're not going to get it. You're not going to get those two little areas. It's just not going to work.
I mean, Russia has its land bridge now, so they can move troops across if they have to. And they're solidly crushing Ukraine's army. They just talked about how Russia's taking that town where they're dug in. Like, at the start of this article, they're like, Russia is taking their shit. And then they're like, if we get all the territory back. Yeah, man, if wishes were fishes, we'd all cast our nets. But,
right?
Good luck with that.
Though he dismissed the idea of using force to win back all the land, his country was lost to Russia since 2014, which includes the southern peninsula of Crimea.
I mean, they're never getting Crimea back. That just is never happening.
That's exactly what was going through my head. I'm like, I don't think that they're ever going to get that back. Why would they even think that they're ever going to get Crimea back? Especially in the situation that they're in now. They're not even going to get the two regions back that they wanted at the most. That's where it's going to end. Otherwise, I'm assuming Russia's going to advance
in the Minsk agreements, right? Like Russia settled with them about how to treat Donetsk and whatever, and then Ukraine just told them to get fucked. They're not going to do that. Instead, spent 8 years shelling the people there. And it's like, well, they're probably not going to negotiate again because it didn't fucking work. And look, you can even see that little red wedge starting to encircle that city coming out of Donetsk. Right under your mouse.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can see all this. You can see all this movement that's in here. Whatever. You can see.
That's where Ukraine's army is right now. I don't know if anyone else played StarCraft back in the day, but I can tell you being surrounded is not militarily a smart idea.
See if I can't make this a little bit bigger.
We can pull up the Ukrainian map for realsies if.
Yeah, absolutely. The reason I wanted to zoom in on this one, however, because it's actually showing
afterwards we can pull up live map and discuss what's happening with the battle. Yeah.
Right. This is actually showing Russian claimed in purple, which is. Where? Okay, so there's no claimed territory. Russian advances are all along the whole border between the Russian-controlled and Ukrainian, continent of itself. How dumb. Okay, let's pull up this live map. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, it's been 3 months. If their army was going to collapse immediately, it would have happened.
An interactive map.
Mm-hmm. All the better for the zooming.
So
you can zoom in a bit more on that's just them firing up in Kharkiv, but
this is the territory that it was assumed that they took back.
Correct. The red outline is where it was before the invasion. So that's the Donetsk People's Republic there. And if you go up a little bit, you see how there's that pocket that the red's about to surround? That's where the Ukrainian military is currently dug in.
Right.
Right next to
you
that
can
city.
see they're pushing themselves, north and south through here. They got this little thing that's pushing their way through here.
Yep, they're going to surround it again once that part gets cut off. They're just going to slice it off piece by piece.
Right. I would assume that these ones are going to kind of still come up. These ones are going to try coming down further or whatever and just take out this chunk, and then they'll close it through and take the rest of it.
Well, that like not captured area way on the right there is where Ukraine has dug in most of their fortifications. So their troops either abandon the like dug in fighting position, or they just get surrounded and then starved.
It's just amazing.
And you look at it and you're like, I don't see how this is going well for Ukraine, right? Like this is not the map of someone who's winning.
What the hell is this shit down here?
That is Russian areas of Georgia that they invaded back in 2012.
Oh, so they actually still have that from 2012.
Yep, and then you can see Crimea is the other outlined region.
Right.
And then there's a separatist region in Moldova.
This little thing here.
Yeah,
this
that
little
one's not
enclave.
part of the war. They just marked it on the map because Moldova is busy having its own issues.
Which is what I assumed off the beginning when this first all started or whatever, that they're talking about taking. I'm like, they're going to take this one too because it's not UN controlled.
Well, and yeah, you can see how Odessa is the only port left.
Right. This is right. You can zoom in too far. You can see there's a couple small cities, but yeah, the only port. Oh, it looks like there's another one in here.
Odessa region. Okay. But
Odessa proper, you can see that they. So, if something happens or whatever, you'd almost, they have a backup route, get out of there or whatever. But if they mined the whole area.
yeah, we're talking about big container ships being able to get in and out that require significant facilities.
What's that?
Russia owns the water. That might be Snake Island.
Sure.
I think it is Snake Island.
If that's what it's called. I really don't know if that's what it's called. Oh, Mitchell, I think Russia already took the red.
Russia took the oil.
Yeah.
Russia took the wheat. Russia took the nice part of Ukraine along the coast.
Yeah, all along this big, huge wraparound Crimea coast.
And you're very, very high if you think Ukraine's going to fight across the river that's currently protecting the Russian, claimed land there against the Russians. They just don't have that capability. It'll never happen. They'll never get that land bridge back. They should stop now while they still have Odessa.
Can they stop that? Stop Russia? Or whatever? Is that something that's possible?
I'm pretty sure if Ukraine got on the phone and was like, hey, we're not joining NATO, we're not joining the EU, please withdraw your troops, they would stop at the currently captured red territory. Russia's not necessarily going to attack them in response to that, but...
they're not going to give up Crimea, that's for sure.
That's not happening. I don't think they're going to take that coastal region. I think that's just Russian territory now, right?
You'd almost think that they would take these two, the Donetsk and whatever.
Oh, they're
regions.
keeping that. What I'm saying is Ukraine could call them up and be like, okay, that red part, you can keep it. Please just stop killing us. And that would probably put an end to it.
Right. This in this deep red line would be capped from Russia, or would be given to Russia or whatever, and the rest of this would give them back. If they
that's not happening. Russia's keeping that land bridge from Donetsk to Crimea.
You think so? They're going to keep all this?
It's Russian now.
Damn.
And you know, it's fine for Ukraine. They had a lot of land or whatever, but it will certainly piss the shit out of NATO. So the reason Russia's going to keep that is because it makes it much easier to supply Crimea if they can bring stuff down along the land through Mariupol. Right, because you can just use all the train lines used for heavy shipping and just pull them out along the coast.
Right,
and
you
so
just
they're going to be like,
right.
yeah, this is ours now. Have fun.
I mean, right? You'd almost see. You'd probably see. Like, yeah, I can see what you're actually saying. They're gonna actually keep everything that they, all this, and they're gonna. This is all prime territory. It has to be. Good farmland.
Good farmland, seaports. It's where the fresh water sources for Crimea are. Ukraine's going to think twice about continuing to shell Donetsk after losing a whole bunch of land.
Mitchell says, nope, too much oil there. Yeah, I'm guessing he's agreeing with you that they're going to keep this. They need to get water back in Crimea. Ukraine cut the water off.
That's why they're keeping the land bridge. Can't cut the water off if Russia owns it.
Thought Shirts has said that he was going to try joining us. Oh, there's some new. What's this? Russian troops shelled residential areas. Yeah, sure they did. Kharkiv, Donetsk, Oblast, red alert, aerial threat, siren sounding. Take cover now. That's live. President Zelensky visited military in Kharkiv region. So, I mean, he's just traveling around the country like it's no big issue. I just don't get that. How he can actually be moving around like he is. You'd think that they would have him more stationary, isolated.
Well, because Russia's not waging a total war against Ukraine. If they were, they would just assassinate him.
And with all the blue, this was all supposedly captured at one point in time, was it not?
That was the attack towards Kiev. You can kind of see how they were moving in, and then they pulled back into Russian and Belarus. Around the time they captured Mariupol.
Right, because Chernobyl's right here. Correct?
And so people disagree on Russia's intent. I still see Russia attacking Kiev to force the Ukrainian army up there while they solidified that land bridge and took it. And then once they had it, they pulled back and consolidated their sources, or their forces in the south. Because you can see how there were prongs coming in at Kiev, and then they just left.
Yeah. Plenty of different ways of trying to get there, and they just kind of whatever. Let's just go do what we need to do to create this area over here.
Well, it's called a feint. You attack one place they have to defend, so they can't be in a different place you're actually attacking.
Scary.
I mean, the scary part is the guy that lost in Afghanistan is still in charge of our military and really, really woke.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's allowing this to continue to happen.
Austin and Milley are the worst thing to happen to the DoD in my lifetime.
It's really bothersome when you actually, gets down to the nitty gritty of it or whatever. Because I'm sitting here taking care of a 2.5-year-old kid, and all the things that are happening and occurring, they just I want him to be able to, live his best life as well. And I just don't see that happening.
Gotta whip your dick out and show the government who's boss. Make it happen, Koolfrogg.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm going to make something happen. I'm going to make something happen from this
If you
YouTube
and every
channel.
other father who felt that way got together, then yes, you could make something happen.
Right. But I'm going to do it from this YouTube channel and try convincing other people to, help me join this cause and fixing this issue with the world. So yeah, let's do it. And any father that's out there that just really seriously wants their children to have a life, let's do what we need to do. I really don't know how that actually becomes something or whatever, but if enough of us, you put our brains together, we can figure it out.
One step at a time. One step at a time.
And that's where I took the first step. I'm right here. I'm telling you, Mike's telling us we need to do this. Let's do it. Let's see what we need to do. Figure it out. Thought Shirt said he was going to try joining. Where the hell did he go? Is 12, 1, 2? Yeah, it's 2 there. 2-ish. Oh, he had an ISH after that, so it's an ish, so he's still in the good yet, I guess.
He's retired.
And he says possibly before. Oh, okay. Anyway. I'm better than 2 hours right now. I don't know how you guys feel or whatever. I think we should just wrap it up. Thoughts? Last thoughts?
I'm good. I got my walk in, so
okay. Mike's thought of the night. Anything you want to share with the crowd that we have?
Titties are awesome.
They're like cupcakes. Doesn't matter what size they are. So good.
Exactly. Just need everyone to know that.
Later, everybody.
Back to them, or do you want to stay with Donald Trump?
Fuck Joe Biden.